Welcome to your womb warmth class. I'd like you to get yourself really cozy. You'll need a blanket, some socks on your feet. You might like to light a candle and maybe get yourself a cup of tea, but you can of course do this after class. Something warming. I've got lemon and ginger, something with ginger, cinnamon, maybe tulsi, and you can sip on it throughout the class, or as I say, make it for after and maybe enjoy your journaling at the time you enjoy your tea. So we will get started on our backs. If you lay yourself down, you can pop your blanket over your womb area. I also should have mentioned I've got myself a bolster. Hopefully you saw that. And you can come into constructive rest. So take your feet wide, let your knees knock together, and let your hands settle down to connect with your womb. Closing down the eyes and letting your body really drop into the floor. Notice if your shoulders are naturally drawing away, let them relax. Let each leg fully relax into the other. Let your toes gently spread. Notice your breath moving your belly. Can you soften your face and let your pelvic floor relax? Notice the warmth coming from your blanket and the palms of your hands. We'll increase that warmth now with our awareness. I'd like you to draw to mind an image of future you, lovingly looking back at yourself right now as you lie on the floor. Future you brings a golden shawl to lay over your womb, in addition to the blanket and your hands. You now have a golden shawl delicately placed with care and intention over your womb. Future you smiles, admires all that you are and all that you do. She looks at you knowing where you're going. Let future you start to fade away. As you inhale, feel yourself expand into this warmth. And exhale as you soften under its embrace. Option to peel the palms away and take them up overhead if this feels nice in your back and your chest. You can keep the blanket where it is, both the physical and the imaginary. Let the knees fall out to one side. Here you can let the legs stay exactly as they are. You may like to hook the ankle over the outer thigh. This feels nice for some people, and it can be a strain for others or at just different times. Sometimes it feels nice in my body and sometimes it doesn't. So just ask, how did it feel in your body today? And feel that lovely stretch through the quad, the hip, and that whole side of the body. Breathe into the space. And if the foot is hooked, you can release that and we'll come to the second side. So we'll be moving through a hatha practice, a nice, slow, grounded practice. It's going to be a lovely way to combat any stresses that we may be feeling. I'm going to be working physically and energetically to support this luteal phase. This time of unknown, uncertainty. I hope this is a practice you can come back to. If the foot is hooked, gently release and lift the knees. And this time, just momentarily, let the knees fall side to side. So not as long of a hold this time, just ease out through the lower back. Lovely, lifting the knees. And then we're going to take the left ankle and cross it over the thigh and take a hold behind the right thigh or in front of that right shin. I always like to take a little rock. It gives a nice massage through the lower back, and it can just kind of help us to move away from any feelings of being stuck. If you enjoy that rocking, if that feels soothing to your system, then keep going. If at any point you feel like being still, then honor that. Here in our king pigeon pose, we're getting the lovely hip stretch, but by remaining supine here on our backs, there's still this extra feeling of containment, gathering the legs in towards us, feeling the earth beneath us. I'd like you to let go of the right leg so the foot falls on the earth. Keep this structure in the legs, but let that fall across to the right until the sole of the left foot meets the earth. Maybe right hand wraps around that left ankle, and then peel the left shoulder, arm, and gaze away in the opposite direction. You're pressing your left knee towards the top of your yoga mat, so the side that is furthest from your head. Exploring the tension in the outer hips. And as you meet that, notice anywhere that grips. Can you choose to soften? Take one more breath here. Bring yourself back through the center, unravel, and we'll come to the second side, right ankle over left thigh, and gather this shape of the legs in towards you. And enjoying these lovely long breaths through the nose, this very natural breath. There's nothing you need to change, but the likelihood is that it's already quite elongated. Maybe the breaths are traveling quite deep down into the belly or the sides or the back. Let the breath take you. You allow the left foot to land and the structure to fall across to the left. Opening through the right side of the chest, rocking onto the back of the head or even toward the right side of the head. It's really nice to still feel that blanket wrapped around the torso. And it's nice to feel to the wisdom of that golden shawl from the future. Holding us right here, right now. Lovely, bringing yourself back up, and we're going to come into a half happy baby shape. So you can let your right leg extend. Gather your left knee in towards your armpits. And this actually might be where you like to stay. This is a really wonderful place to stay. I may come back here just to show you option to extend through the lower leg so the foot faces up toward the ceiling into that half happy baby variation. You might place the right hand onto the right hip just to gently encourage it to rest back down toward the floor. So you choose your variation. Either way, we have this deep compression in around the left hip and into the lower belly. And we're working with a number of compressions in the practice today, because when we compress an area for a short while, we restrict the blood flow to this area. So that when we release, as you can do now, and let that leg extend, there is a fresh flow of blood and prana circulation of fresh oxygenated blood and life force energy flowing freely through the hip into the pelvis. Let's take that to the second side, bringing the compression into the right side of the pelvis. Again, maybe just a gentle touch with the left hand to relax that left hip. That should feel super nice. After being curled in, it's always nice to feel into that relaxation of opening an area. And another reason why we are working with these compressions today is to stoke our inner fire, our Agni. Our Agni works to digest and assimilate. And feel that fire gently build as you maintain this compression. Then as you release, allow for that free flow. Take this time to rebound and to really feel into what's happening in your body with that release. Giving yourself time to process each shape on a deeper physiological level. We're processing all sorts of different impressions and experiences. Yoga helps us to do this inner work. So when you are ready, we're going to make our way up from our backs onto our fronts. So this is a nice time to take a sip of your tea if you have one there with you. And you can use your blanket now, either down on the ground for the front of the hips, or you might choose to take it around the back of the pelvis. I'm going to lay mine down on the front, or on the floor for my front, so that I have this extra softness. I'd like you to come on down into Sphinx pose, taking the elbows in underneath the shoulders, spreading through the palms, and find a gentle uplift through the chest. So the chest is facing forward, the gaze is facing forward, even though you may well have your eyes closed, as I do. Notice any unnecessary areas of gripping. I often find myself gripping around my hamstrings in this shape, or in my shoulders. We're not going to be here for too long. We're not in any of these shapes for kind of as long as you might expect in a restorative class, but we are holding much longer than we may in a vinyasa class. Holding each shape for a minute or two, giving it a bit of time to work its magic. In this shape, you'll notice the compression coming into the lower back. Feeling the abdomen stretch, but also feeling the connection with the belly and the floor. Feel that connection broaden as you breathe in. And feel your belly gently draw away on the breath out. Still connecting to the warmth created by that soft blanket, whether it's around the front or the back. And perhaps you choose to draw to mind that same golden shawl and how take it around the back of the body. Feel into the protection and the wisdom of this golden shawl. The love, care and intention given from future you. Take one last breath. And then we'll create the opposite effect in our body, coming into child's pose to stretch through the back, particularly the lower back, and compress now around the belly. So you decide whether maybe you just want your thighs to create that compression as you bow down, laying your head either on the floor or on your bolster. Alternatively, you can separate the thighs and let your belly meet the bolster. Taking the blanket around the back if it's not already there. Letting your body melt into this bolster. As you inhale, feel that pressure build up between belly and bolster or thighs. And as you exhale, find a softening. Inhale, building up and up to the peak of pressure. And exhale, the softness develops until you get to the very end of the breath and there's a sense of spaciousness around the tummy. The posture of the child is one of the absolute best shapes for developing this sense of safety. The perfect antidote to feelings of stress. And this time, this 2-week wait brings a lot of uncertainty, which can be a real challenge. It's important that we come back to these grounding practices that remind us of the safety of our bodies, the predictability of our breath, really utilising that breath. Our inner autumn is aligned with the exhale. And every one of these long exhales helps us to feel more grounded. the uncertainty can bring with it a sense of a fast pace in the mind, can become quite erratic, qualities of air and ether. So we can counterbalance that by drawing on the earthy qualities. We find that with our exhale, with slowness and stillness, and by physically coming down to the ground. Take one more breath in your child's pose. Before lifting yourself up, and we'll come now back onto our bellies. So again, you might take the blanket and pop it down under your pelvis, or you may take it around your back. Laying the front of the body down and coming into a half frog. We'll bring the right leg out to that right hand side. The higher the knee comes, the deeper you'll feel this, and the further away the ankle comes from the midline, again, the deeper you'll feel this. So maybe you just find, again, what feels right for you today, and I'd like you to bring your forehead all the way down to rest onto your hands. Feel the stoking of that inner fire, building warmth. And we want to find that sweet spot. We don't want a raging, roaring, uncontrollable fire where we feel we're right at our limit. And with it can bring feelings of anger and frustration. Can you dial it back from there? Yet we don't want to come into a shape where we just don't really feel much. For today's practice, to create womb warmth, we want that bit of heat. We want to just about touch toward the intensity, knowing where that line is, dial back and find your sweet spot. Can you start to soften your glutes, your pelvic floor, your inner thighs, and your tummy? Noticing the natural rhythm of your breath. Calm, gently expansive. Each exhale taking you deeper into this state that you have created. Over the next few breaths, I'd like you to transition onto the second side. Let yourself drop back to where you were. Gently move your awareness around your body. See where you can soften, where you can find an element of surrender. Trust the shape and let it work its magic. We're going to transition through child's pose. First, lengthening your legs out. Slowly rocking back. And just take a breath or two in that child's pose. Lovely. So you can make your way up into a seat. Crossing your legs. Letting your hands come in touch with your whole pelvic region. We've worked physically to bring compression, fresh flow, opening and release around this area. And now we're going to bring a energetic and sonic massage to the womb. So let's bring in yoni mudra, drawing the thumb and the index fingers to touch. We're going to interlace then the middle, ring and little fingers, finding yoni mudra, pointing the index fingers downward and elevating through the heart. We'll take 5 rounds of bhramari, inhaling through the nose and making a humming sound for the whole of the exhale, right the way to the end. Let it trail away and feel that vibration deep down into the womb. So for our first round, breathe in. Continue to bathe in this warm vibration. start to release this powerful mudra held in your hands. Feel the power in your hands. Let's rub the palms together. Continue to build the heat. And again, place them at the womb. You may choose to stay here. If you'd like to lay down, we'll take one final shape of relaxation. Lying on our left-hand side, you can take your left arm in underneath your head. The bolster can come in between the lower legs from knees down to ankles. Lay that imaginary golden shawl over your whole body. And give yourself time to digest and assimilate this whole practice of womb warmth. You can slowly start to deepen your breath. Swallow down your throat. Mobilize fingers, toes, ankles and wrists. Maybe stretching into your limbs. Emerging from your side when you are ready.
Coming into a seat to close. Placing the blanket again around your womb. Thank you so much for joining me for this class and this series. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the mat very soon.